Well, welcome back to episode 2 of Training for Leadville, the series where I'm documenting my training all the way up to the Leadville 100 on August 19th. If you haven't already, be sure to go back and watch the first episode. Top right corner, you can do that after you watch this, of course. I would appreciate it. But this week, you're going to see and learn more about who I am as a runner. I am a father of 4 kids. I've got a wife. I work full-time. Yes, I know it's hard to believe this YouTube is not my full-time job yet. Hopefully one day it will be, but right now it's just a side gig, a second job basically. So it's a busy life to say the least, and sometimes that does get in the way of my training. I have to prioritize things just like a lot of you out there as well. I know we're working 2 jobs, running before you go to work, you got kids, whatever it is, there's a lot of different things going on. So hopefully you'll see that I'm kind of just like you guys out there and training as best as I can for a lot of races, but definitely the Leadville 100. So starting off the week, Monday was a fartlek speed session day, and it was pretty challenging, I'm not gonna lie. So my plan had a pretty hard interval session drawn up, and it was repeating 6 times. I had 3 minutes at a 7 of RPE, the runner's perceived effort scale, and then 1 minute at an 8 RPE, so no rest in between there at all, and then 1 minute of basically a recovery at a 4 RPE, and I repeated that 6 times. So by the 5th and 6th, I was definitely feeling it because the route I chose, I got on the Cottonwood Creek Trail here in Colorado Springs. I ran south, which is mostly downhill, and did the first 4 of those intervals, but then I had to turn around and come back, and that was mostly uphill the whole way. And it was tough. It was definitely a lot harder to try to maintain pace, and I wasn't able to maintain the same pace. It was difficult. It was a good workout, good quality session for sure. And that run was done in the Tracksmith Elliott runner's shoes, which I am really enjoying. Stay tuned, the review will be coming pretty soon on those. One thing that made that run even more difficult was my sleep quality the night before. It was less than 6 hours of sleep, but only 37 minutes of deep sleep, according to my Coros Apex 2 Pro watch, of course. And that was because I was up till 1 a.m. working on the episode 1 of this series. So it was, I didn't get a lot of sleep that night. And it affected my run a little bit, but that's, we got to make do with what we got. And then Tuesday, I actually had to travel. I had to go to Ohio, which is where the company I work for is stationed out of. So I had to go up there for the rest of the week. And so that was just a busy day spent in airports, traveling from Colorado Springs up to Ohio, rental car, driving, all that stuff. So I didn't get the opportunity to run because once I got there, I had a work dinner to go to, which lasted all through the night basically because, let's face it, there was an open bar and I like to drink occasionally, especially when it's an open bar. So no running that day. That's the first day of life kind of getting in the way. And so that brings us to Wednesday. This was up in Ohio at the hotel. I was able to go out for a run. I had a lunch meeting to go to for work and then meetings all afternoon and then another dinner that night. So I tried to get something done in the morning. Didn't really have any time to drive anywhere to go do like an outdoors run. So I just hopped on the hotel treadmill, which was fine. Did just only about, I think it was 45 minutes of a run, a little bit over 5 miles. And yeah, it was hot. That hotel had no fans in there whatsoever. It was very, very warm in that gym. And I was wearing the new Tracksmith clothing that I got. As you can see here, it's drenched, but this is the Twilight tee. And then I think those are the Twilight shorts, I believe. They could be the speed session shorts, but anyway, new clothing. I got 2 pairs of shorts, 3 shirts from Tracksmith. Really enjoying those. Been running in you'll see them in some video clips this week. But yeah, it was hot, just to say the least. I was drenched. And then of course I did some foam rolling afterwards and some stretching like I always do after every run. And so that was it. That's all that I had time for because then it was straight to work and doing my actual job stuff. And again, I should mention that run was in the Tracksmith Elliott runners. And I gotta say, I have been using the drip drop hydration stuff that I got last week. I've been using it this week. I used it at this meeting. All these runs here, I would take one afterwards to kind of rehydrate. And honestly, if you look at it, it says it's good for diuretics, and there were a lot of open bars, so I did take some of these as well. It worked well. Hey, real quick, I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video, and that is vert.run. Whether you are a brand new runner, you've never run at all, Vert has plans that are for couch to 5K, whatever it is you're doing. They've got plans for 100-mile races and stage races for multi-day type things. So no matter what level of your running journey you are on, Vert has a plan for you, and I highly recommend you give them a shot, try it out. I have loved it for over 2 years. So look below in the description. There's a coupon code to save 40% off your first months of training, and also a link to go download the app, whether you're on an iPhone or an Android. Yeah, do it.
You'll like it.
So Thursday was a full day at the office. That was just, yeah, a very busy day. Woke up, had to get breakfast, get to the office, work, meetings all day. And then in that afternoon, we had a special event. We had to leave and go to another venue. And so I was there doing a community service kind of team building thing with the team. We actually made dog toys and for a shelter there in the area. And then we went to dinner, and yeah, there was more drinks and friends and hanging out with people I haven't seen in years, which was a lot of fun. So again, no time to run. That's just life sometimes. You got to do what you got to do. That brings us to Friday. So yes, another day at the office. I had to get up and work, do a couple of meetings pretty much till a little after noon or right at noon. And then from then I had to drive to the airport, which was about 30 minutes away, and then catch my first flight from Denver to Colorado Springs. Got on that just fine, but when that plane took off, it was a United flight. United's always late. That was the case. This plane was late, so I didn't get into Colorado Springs until I think it was, or I'm sorry, I didn't get into Denver, until I didn't get off the plane until after 5. I think it was like 5:05, and my next flight to Colorado Springs was boarding at 5:05, so I had to run. And if you know anything about Denver, I had to change from the A terminal to the B terminal, which is a long way and involves a train. So yeah, I did some running. So yeah, I didn't put it on Strava, but I did some running in my work clothes, pulling my suitcase, carrying a backpack, and finally made it home, and then just spent some time with the family. Didn't get a run in at all. So, yeah, it was, this week has not been the best training week for Leadville. Let's just say that, but that's life. And so this brings us to Saturday, which was just the 13th, May 13th. This was actually my wife's first 50K since she had her hip surgery. If you haven't seen those videos, take a look, top right corner. There are a lot of videos to watch about her recovery, the surgery, all of that stuff. But yeah, her first 50K, so she had to go do that, which meant I had to get the kids to all their sporting events, which was a lot. My son Declan had 2 games in the morning, 8 and 9 o'clock. And then my daughter Zoe had a soccer game at like 2:45. So I had a little bit of time in between there, but I had to go to the store, pick up things. But I was able to jump on the treadmill. Here at the house, I've got an incline trainer. I've got the Nordic Track X11i incline trainer. So I did jump on that for about 2 hours, and I was able to get a little over 3,000 feet of elevation gain. And that was basically running flat, and then I would run anywhere from 10 to 15% incline, running that. And then I would power hike 20 to 25%. So just a good overall elevation gain type workout. Of course, I didn't get much downhill with that. I can go downhill with the treadmill, but really only got like maybe 30 feet of downhill. Yeah, so that needs more work, but it was a good session for what I had, and that's what I had. So then it was more soccer games, and then my son Anders had a flag football game after that. And then my wife got home and I had to help her a little bit, but she did great, by the way. I didn't get to film anything, unfortunately, because I was with the kids all day, but she did awesome. She's recovered really well, already walking around like brilliantly, like she didn't even run a 50K yesterday, and she's doing really well. So that was super awesome. I'm very proud that she was able to finish that. A little over 7 hours, which for her first 50K, her first race since having full-blown hip surgery, a little over a year ago, was pretty amazing. So she did awesome. And I should mention on this run was also the Tracksmith Elliott runners. I've been trying to get those close to the review, so I hopped on the treadmill with those. Really enjoyed them. But I did try out a new nutrition product. I did get a bunch of new products that I ordered from the feed. I now am an ambassador on their elite team with the feed. So check out some links below to go, and you can go to the feed, purchase some stuff. So yes, I got a whole bunch of stuff I'd never tried before that I want to try. So one of the things, and I tried this on the treadmill run on Saturday, was Science and Sport Go electrolyte drink, beverage basically. It's got calories, electrolytes, a bunch of different stuff in it, and it tasted pretty darn good. It's a little bit sweeter than I kind of like. I'm going to continue using. I got a lot of it, so I'm going to use it for a while. A little bit sweeter than I like. It didn't mix up as well as I would have hoped, honestly, but I've got that. I also ordered the EFS. This is the hydration mix. This is from First Endurance. This is really popular in like the triathlon world, and it's the same kind of thing. It's calories, a lot of carbohydrates, a good bit of electrolytes. So going to give that a try as well. And of course, I'm going to be comparing these to my main fuel of always, which is Tailwind. I've used that for probably 5 years. So all these will kind of be paired or compared to that. So we'll see. I'll give you guys some more info on those as I test it more. But I also got some salt stick electrolyte chews just to carry around because you never know when you might need a little more electrolytes. And then also got a little sample pack of, oh, if I can pick them up here, spring energy gels. I love spring energy gels. These, I've tried these all before. Well, except for I've not had this one. This is like a special chocolate heaven special edition. So yeah, haven't tried that. But yeah, I love spring. I'll be saving these honestly probably for the Leadville Trail Marathon because those are just awesome for race fuels. And then one other thing I've got that I really am excited to try, let me know below in the comments too if you've tried any of these products, what your opinions are, if you've liked them, had any issues, but in particular about this one right here. This is also from Science and Sport, but this is a performance nitrate loading powder. So basically, this is, in theory, it's, you know, like beets, a nitrate, designed to help your performance. But what I am really looking forward to trying with this, and I think that might help, is at altitude. So nitrates, and I've done a little bit of research on them, you know, some scientific journals, things like medical journals, things like that. But it looks like this nitrate type stuff, it helps you be able to perform better in lower oxygen environments, basically, using less oxygen to still perform well. So I'm hoping at altitude, this might help me a little bit. So I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna go up to altitude, do some runs, might even try it at the Leadville Trail Marathon, see how it does, because that goes over 13,000 feet. And then the Leadville 100 obviously goes over 12,000 feet. So if it's successful, if it works, if I feel like I'm not losing performance at altitude as much, yeah, I might try it some more, but really curious. If you have tried this before, please let me know. I'm really looking forward to hearing any thoughts on it. And then that brings us to today, Sunday. So Sunday is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. Hope you had a good day and were taken care of. Today was obviously Valen's recovery from her 50K race as well as Mother's Day. So, you know, we went to church and then I was trying to do everything around the house so she didn't have to do anything. I think I did a pretty good job, but we'll see. So yes, but she was awesome and let me go for a run today. I say let me because, you know, obviously it's her day. I want to be here to support her, but she was cool like she always is and very supportive. So I'm always very grateful for Val and my spouse. She's incredibly supportive of all the running that I do. But she let me go for a run, and what was cool about that run is just an easy run, but I tried these out right here. So I heard about these from the Adventure Jogger podcast. If you have not heard of that podcast, definitely go check it out. It's on the Apple, podcast. It's on Spotify. Really, really great podcast. But anyway, these are some real cheap shoes from Amazon. Basically some kind of like a Hoka knockoff, really, but a lot less money. Like these here are $39. So the shirt that I was wearing today on the run cost almost twice as much as these shoes. So yeah, I'm very curious to see if these work, if they're any good, if they last as long. Overall, they felt decent. After my first 5-mile run, definitely a lot less cushioning than a Hoka, more ground feel for sure. Overall, they breathe pretty well. As far as the build quality, probably not gonna last that long if I'm honest. I think this EVA midsole foam is really gonna compress pretty quickly, so stay tuned. I'll do a review on these just like any other shoe, but always kind of curious if that cheaper gear out there might be any good, so we'll find out. And as you can see, this run was in a new Tracksmith shirt that I got. Very comfortable shirt, worked out pretty well. So overall for that week, it was definitely not ideal, definitely not the kind of training you want to do leading up to a 100-mile race, but we gotta roll with what we get. And so it ended up being almost 30.5 miles. Almost 3,800 feet of elevation gain. So yeah, next week should be a lot better. I've got a lot more things on the schedule, no crazy work things. So should be able to get in some good runs and some better mileage like I need to be getting, and altitude. I need to be getting back up to altitude for sure and getting ready for that stuff. But yes, that's a week in the life of a full-time worker, husband, father, all that stuff, which I know you guys are familiar with out there. You do the same thing out there. So keep grinding, keep doing hard things. I'm gonna keep doing hard things and trying to train as best as I can for Leadville in the time that I have to do it. Well, thank you all for watching. I do appreciate you all for joining this journey as I train for Leadville. So please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are new. I know there are some new folks out there that joined, and I appreciate you guys so much. There's also the join button you can click if you want to become a channel member. There's a couple of different options out there as well. And don't forget to give it a like, give it a thumbs up. That's super easy to do and it helps out a ton and I would really appreciate it. Also, the day you're watching this, which is just kind of, cool YouTube stuff, It's on my 3rd year on YouTube. May 15th, 2020 was the first video I ever published on YouTube. And so yes, 3 years. And I just hit 1 million views on YouTube, which I know isn't a lot for a lot of people out there, but for me, that's pretty darn awesome. And I am just super grateful and thankful to all of you out there that have watched a video along the way, because that's what this is about, 1 million views. So thank you so much. Let's do it again, but let's do it a little quicker. Hopefully not 3 years. So, well, like I mentioned, if you haven't already, go back and take a look at the first episode on your screen over here. You can take a look at that. On that side will be a playlist of other beautiful trail running videos to go watch as well. I'll see you in the next episode.